fleet. Should have put the emergency you had the air. Shot fired. I think you're heading off the shot clock. Officer shot. 3751 South Polk at a 10-1.
It's been a long, cold winter here in Chicago, and it's officially over. I'm back in the streets. Over the winter months, I created a series called In the Line of Duty. In the Line of Duty is kind of a mix between police-involved shootings and what it's like to be a cop here in Chicago. A lot of people watched it, and I appreciate it. And the people that didn't, I would ask you to watch it. CPD brass held a press conference and said there was a 60% reduction in shootings and killings in Chicago, which is a great thing. But the minute they opened their mouth, shit hit the fan. From April 1st to April 10th, 80 people were shot here in Chicago. And there was a christening where 5 people were shot and 2 kids were shot. There's a gang war raging in Inglewood and one in North Lawndale. Now we're going to hit the streets and we're going to start this process all over again. The first shooting I covered this year took place on March 10th of 2019. A police officer was shot, a tactical cop serving a warrant in the Humboldt Park neighborhood. And the shooter was a 19-year-old girl. You look at this girl, she looks like a little kid. Like, I would take her to go get an ice cream cone. She looked like she was 12. And when cops were serving the warrant, she shot through the door, hit one of the tactical guys in the shoulder. He'll be okay. He will recover. When they went in, they found a shitload of weed, a lot of cash, and a semi-automatic pistol. She must have been housing it for somebody, the drugs and the money. The young lady's name is Emily Petronella. And to me, when a cop is shot right off the bat at the beginning of the year, it's a bad omen of things to come. That's for sure. We got something going on up here. A lot of cops converging on the area. We're right behind them. There were shots fired at the car in this incident. Luckily, no one was hit by the gunfire. The car is sitting around the corner, and it is unclear if the man in cuffs is the shooter. Over the past 3 days, I covered several shootings across the Chicagoland area. Late Thursday night, a 32-year-old man was found shot to death in a backyard at 79th and Paulina in the Grisham neighborhood. He had 2 gunshot wounds to the chest and 1 to the head. The shooter or shooters are still at large, and Area South is investigating. On Friday, a 27-year-old man was shot and wounded driving on the 300 block of West 97th Street in the Longwood Manor neighborhood. He was shot by someone on foot and hit in the upper left chest and was taken by ambulance to Christ Hospital in stable condition. No one is in custody, and Area South detectives are investigating. 2 boys ages 13 and 14 years old were shot on the 5200 block of South Calumet in the Washington Park neighborhood. The boys were running down the sidewalk when they heard shots and realized they were struck in the legs. Both boys were stabilized and will be okay. No one is in custody, and Area Central is investigating.
35 in the disregard over there. 5215. 90815.
A group of men were hanging out on a corner on the 5800 block of West Superior in the Austin neighborhood when two shooters appeared and approached on foot and fired shots at the group. Two men were struck by gunfire. The first man, a 19-year-old, was taken to Loyola in stable condition with a gunshot wound to the right leg. The second victim, a 21-year-old man, was located blocks away on a front lawn on Rice Street. He was also shot in the rear thigh area. He was taken away by ambulance in stable condition. The shooters are still at large, and Area North is investigating. And we got a guy here that was shot. Early Saturday morning, a man was shot and killed on the Stevenson Expressway, and two others in the car were wounded by gunfire. The shots were fired at the car blocks before Cicero Avenue as it traveled northbound on the expressway. The driver, 27-year-old Omar Chakan, was pronounced dead on the scene. He died of multiple gunshot wounds. And a 16-year-old boy was shot. His condition was stabilized, and his wound is not considered to be life-threatening. A 19-year-old female passenger was shot and seriously wounded. She was taken to a local hospital in critical condition. The traffic on northbound I-55 was shut down for hours from Harlem to Cicero due to the Illinois State Police investigation. This was the 14th expressway shooting this year. Community activist Andrew Holmes was on the scene. Holmes is part of a group that want cameras installed across all expressways to help authorities investigate these shootings. This last shooting took place early Sunday morning while snow fell across the city. A 27-year-old woman was shot while riding as a passenger in a car at about 4:25 a.m. on the 2100 block of West 18th Place in the heart of Chicago neighborhood. Three people in a blue SUV drove up, and one man got out and opened fire, striking the woman. The man fled and kept driving and stopped at 16th and Laughlin when he realized the woman had been hit in the chest. She was taken to Stroger Hospital in critical condition. The man was not injured. Area Central detectives are investigating, and the shooter is still at large. From April 1st to April 14th, 115 people were shot. 91 of them were wounded, and 24 were killed across the Chicagoland area. And suddenly the shooting stopped because of the dramatic change in weather. This is the only sure cure I know that puts the brakes on the violence on the bloody streets of Chicago. I'm a little worried about what's going to happen here in Chicago. And I'm worried because of all that's going on. And we have the police department at odds with the state's attorney's office. Specifically Kim Foxx. And it's bigger than this Jussie Smollett thing. Jussie Smollett is just a very fine layer on top. It's what's underneath. It's what she's been doing. She's been letting people out that shouldn't be on the streets. Not only is she a problem, but the court system is a problem. They're letting people out in droves also. If you've ever voted in Cook County and you've ever looked at the ballot, the voting ballot, and it shows all these Democrat judges, but the one thing you don't see is Republican opposition. There's nobody to go against these guys. So they pretty much toe the party line here in Chicago. And then there's the cherry on top, which is the new liberal progressive mayor. You know what progressive means to me? Regressive. That's what their policies will be. Regressive. We're in for a long summer here in Chicago. Bet your ass on it.